How's it going, boys? All right. So, yeah, so today just wanted to discuss some more stuff that's sort of going around with sort of the news, uh gaming, things like that, and then maybe we can play some Ark if we get some time. If not, we will play that tomorrow. One second. Just closing some stuff that we don't need. I'm still feeling a little clogged up, as you can hear, so I sound like a frog underwater.
If you're good at sewing, maybe you can. If you're good at sewing, maybe you can.
One second.
If you're good at sewing, maybe you can.
Oh, that's so annoying. Sorry, I'm just making sure the audio is working on stream. Sorry, I'm just making. Sounds good. Still sound like I'm stuffed or I'm sick. So that's just great. Uh, okay. YouTube looks good too. All right. So, sort of wanted to just discuss things that are sort of going around, at least over yesterday and today. Well, I guess today is 1 a.m. So we are sort of in the next day. But I did kind of want to just look into some of the stuff that's currently going on in gaming news. Um, so one big story that did come out was pertaining the new From Software game, which is one second. Let me just change the screen here. So yeah, one popular story that's sort of been going around is the new From Software game that's coming out, which is called Dusk Bloods, right? And this game is exclusively coming out for the Switch 2. So it's apparently not coming out on any other platform, which is kind of frustrating because, typically From Software games will be released across multiple platforms unless you're Bloodborne. But then again, Bloodborne is an exception. I feel like we just will never get any information about Bloodborne regarding any updates or anything like that. Um, so yeah, so there's Dust Bloods, which if you guys haven't heard about that, is is a game like I said coming out for the Switch 2, and it looks really interesting. So obviously you know once again the premise is sort of very much a story or a narrative that's very much, the story isn't very clear. It's always very ominous when it comes to these From Software games. But of course, you're gonna have the combat, their usual Elden Ring style combat, which is obviously amazing. It's great stuff. The issue though is with this game, apparently it's gonna be a multiplayer game, right? So apparently what it's gonna be like is it's gonna be very similar to Elden Ring Night Rain, right? So Elden Ring Night Rain which came out like mid summer last year, from what I recall. But very much of this game. Oh my god, I gotta sign in here. Oh, come on, that's annoying. I guess we can just hover over the IGN review, which I think they'll let us bypass. Or I might have to sign in, which is kind of annoying. But that's fine. So basically, Elden Ring Night Rain had obviously the same combat as sort of Elden Ring does. This would be really annoying if it made me watch all these ads and I literally have to still sign in. That's crazy. But yeah, Elden Ring Night Rain, great combat. But the issue was, I think, like, for the amount of content that you received, right? So the amount of, so obviously you can see it's still the same Elden Ring style content here, which is awesome. But the issue was that there was only one, and we got another ad. I think that's just the beauty of also watching IGN reviews or IGN anything. But the whole thing was, you have this one big open map, and then you got to keep respawning back in that same map to defeat different kinds of bosses, and minions, and leveling up, and then eventually fighting like this final big boss battle. Issue with that was it kind of gets a little stale. Like, obviously there's multiple final bosses that you can play through, which makes and keeps things interesting. But the problem is that it only keeps you interested for so long before, you know, it kind of gets a little dry because you're spawning on the same map. Now, they did release a DLC which came out, I believe, in January, so it did come out pretty recently, which kind of expands on the map. It adds a new map, new bosses, so it does keep things a little fresh. But once again, it had a very niche, I think, very niche group of people, because it has sort of that grindy type of concept where you keep spawning into the map, and you just keep basically doing the same thing again and again, and obviously change the specific abilities you might have and the attributes, and sort of level it up and put it towards different things so that you can eventually be better catered towards the boss you're going to eventually fight. But yeah, honestly, it didn't really stick with a lot of people. It didn't really work with a lot of people. And now what's happening with Duskbloods is apparently it's going to be following that similar type of concept. And that seems a bit problematic, right? Because we don't really want, like, for the majority of From Software fans, they kind of just want another typical Soulsborne style game. So it is kind of weird to see that. And the issue with that is also that Duskbloods, we don't exactly know when it's coming out, right? So Nintendo has done a bunch of directs letting people know what their upcoming games are, which I think this year it's pretty good. I think it's a little above average. You know, they just had Mario Tennis release, which I think was really good, a little overpriced, and then they have Pokopia coming up, which I think is going to be a big hit for them because it has the Pokemon label on it. And then following that, there was a lot of rumors around a potential 3D Mario game that might, you know, be revealed. I think that might still happen. You never know. But they do have like the big Mario Galaxy movie coming out. So there could be something that could maybe help push, you know, sort of could help push another Mario 3D Mario game. Because if you look at the Mario, I guess I gotta search up the trailer. Yeah, the Galaxy movie trailer, Mario 3D Galaxy. I'm just typing something completely different. But yeah, this movie has so many Easter eggs in it already from like all different Mario games. So like they're paying homage to them. So I think like they might, you know, they have some kind of 3D Mario game, which basically just like encompasses all the different concepts from different Mario 3D games. I think that would be really cool. Apparently, one of the movie trailers as well, there was rumors that they had a Star Fox, I think is what the character's called. Obviously a much older game, but it's a very popular game and it's a beloved character. And apparently, someone saw a glimpse of it in the trailer, in one of the teaser trailers, the new trailers, or something. So he could appear in that. So clearly, the people behind the movie care a lot about the, you know, sort of the lore and the Easter eggs and the Mario universe in a whole, and the Nintendo universe, or whatever you want to call it, the whole, which is amazing. But with Duskbloods, there was apparently, one second, I'm just gonna switch tabs here. Yeah, so there was basically uh an accidental release, or like maybe a leak, we want to call it that, um on a Reddit post, where basically someone saw in Australia that Duskbloods was advertised to them, right? So basically this is the post, or this is the ad they got, which shows basically an ad showing that Duskbloods is going to be coming soon, right? So that kind of just got everyone hyped up, because that means that perhaps they're going to be revealing more information about it very soon, which I feel like they should have already, but I guess they haven't come around. They haven't come around to it. Um, and then there was also further information where somebody on the actual, their actual eShop, so on the Nintendo eShop, I think it was, yeah, I believe it was from Australia. So they essentially got this image right here from the eShop, which shows a planned sort of release date on the side. I don't know. I don't know if this was the exact screenshot, because I saw another one which said like the planned release date was like March 2026, which is crazy unless they were like trying to shadow drop it. That would be my best case scenario in terms of that. But it did say like March 2026, and that would be pretty cool. So, one second. So yeah, that was the reveal for that, for Duskbloods, which does look good. Am I muted? Am I not muted? One second, let's gotta check if I'm muted or not. Hello? Yeah, it should be good. Yeah, so that was sort of the reveal for Duskbloods in terms of like potential release date, which does look interesting to see if they reveal some more information on that in the coming days. And I think you know that would get people certainly hyped, especially if like they shadow dropped it, which I think would be amazing. Um, and then also there was sort of a teaser trailer that was revealed for Arc Raiders. So there was, one second, let me just check where that teaser trailer is. I'm going down the IGN videos, because like they always have all the latest stuff, but they just have so much that was posted today, so it is a little difficult to see. Okay. So this was the new teaser trailer that was revealed for the upcoming Arc Raiders update that's coming up. Okay. So Arc Raiders in terms of its updates, has been kind of slacking, if I'm going to be honest. Like, I know that the game just came out, just last November, last October. But since then, I feel like they've had a lot of time to come up with stuff. There's a running joke, which some of the streamers make that say, like, oh, they're still on Christmas break. They're still on vacation. Give them time. Give them time, you know. But one thing you got to know is when you have such a successful game and it has such a successful base of players playing right now, and there really isn't anything else going on that's competing with them, you got to really take advantage of that and keep building it up, which I think they are doing an excellent job of listening to people and supporting it. But I think they need to accelerate the amount of updates that are coming out. Um, like I know they added the map, Stella Montes, and then they added a bunch of other, I guess, effects or conditions is what they call it. But I think the actual extraction aspect, in terms of like the items that you can loot, the weapons, I think like not much has changed since the game came out. Like I feel like if you compared with other extraction shooters, the amount of items and things you can loot, there isn't really as much stuff. And like we said, they can add more as time goes on, but I think they need to really ramp up how much updates they're going to be releasing. And they did release like a couple of updates previously, and one of them was like the Bird City update, which once again I think was almost like, I don't think there was any person who was like, "Whoa, thank you for that. That's amazing." And it was kind of just like a meme, it's kind of just a joke that they like literally just added something that nobody was asking for, kind of threw it in there. And I don't think there's a single person who was like, this is the coolest update ever, right? And the thing is, I'm pretty sure it's not even like a seasonal thing. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be continuing. Like, they're just always going to have like the Bird City thing, which is ridiculous. On top of that, there's like a huge cheater problem, like a massive cheater problem. Like, there's so many clear cheating ways that people are exploiting and just readily, sharing online and stuff too. And they really haven't done much to overcome that. I did hear there's some patches and some updates that are being slowly rolled out to take care of them, and they are working on that. But there are so many that just they have to, sort of patch. But that rollout has been fairly slow, and there's still so many people cheating. That's one reason too, where I kind of have been avoiding and holding back from playing the game, because it's like, in a game like that where you lose everything if you die, you don't want to have cheater problems. That's like the last kind of game you want to have cheater problems with. And their cheaters are running rampant, There's some people who go around flaunting their cheating and stuff too. And clearly it hasn't been patched. And I know when you have such a large number of people playing the game, there is a higher chance that people will find exploits and cheats. But that also means that you got to really double down on that. Because the issue here now is that there's going to be other games that are coming up this year, multiplayer games, multiplayer games that are coming out, which might take some of your player base away. And to retain those people, you got to do certain things to keep them hooked, even more hooked. Because I think one advantage with Ark as well is that there really isn't anything in the market which can really compete with it. I think a great example is Battlefield 6. I just felt like it just came and went. Like, obviously, it had an amazing launch. Everyone was playing it. But now it's like there's another season coming out. They delete the season. And there just isn't a whole lot of people hopping back into it to try new weapons or new things that are going on in the game. So I think they really gotta like ramp up what they're doing with Ark. So they released this new teaser trailer here called Shrouded Sky, which, if you go through the trailer, so it clearly doesn't really look like a new map, okay? a lot of it kind of just looks so like we can clearly see this is Spaceport, a map that already exists, right? There's a bits and pieces of other maps as well. Perhaps this is only Spaceport that we're looking at. But it seems to just be a bunch of weather effects again. So it seems like it's just a condition again. Which I think in terms of conditions, they already have so many. And I don't really think that people are like actively looking to find more conditions. I think a new map would be great. I think new weapons, things like that. And then another issue are the skins. I want to know who's asking for a bald dude with a beard, right? Like, yeah, it looks cooler than some of the other ones. There's one that's like a furry that I guess, it's in the shop. Like, this looks like 12 other skins that have been revealed. So clearly, they just haven't been doing much on that aspect, of adding more skins, which they could be doing, right? So they gotta really ramp things up. Um, I think that's the only way they're gonna hold on to this player base, especially with Marathon coming up. Now Marathon as well. I'm still not sold on that game, if I'm being honest. There's an alpha test which is coming up, right? So there's still like an alpha that's coming up. I believe I'm trying to check if this is the trailer for that. So like the gameplay looks interesting. It definitely has more of, or reminds me more and more now of like the Destiny type of gameplay that you love from Bungie. But then the issue now is like, have they done enough from the previous Madar alpha that they had released where people really didn't like what was going on? So I think it's really just gonna that alpha that's or the beta or whatever that's coming up, the playtest next week, I believe. That's gonna really let people know if this is gonna be the next big thing. Because I'm still really not sold on it. I know there's a lot of people who are much more open to it now, and I think I'm definitely open to it. I think it's definitely not like a Concord situation or a Highguard situation. I think there's definitely room here for potentially grasping people, especially if they have a larger variety of items that you can pick up, abilities, and that sort of gameplay loop, which just gets people hooked. If that is still there, then people are gonna play it. They're gonna maybe stir away from Arc Raiders. So I think that might happen. But I think we still have yet to see. But yeah, the gameplay looks great. Like if you see here, like the movement, it's fast paced. Like Arc is a lot slower, right? It takes a long time to get into the actual gunfights, and then which it's a nice sort of pause, a nice uh, sort of refresh from all the crazy fast ADHD shooters that have been out there. But yeah, it looks great though. Colors are still those neon highlighter, Sharpie highlighter, Hilroy colors that either you love or you hate. So I think it's really that playtest is really going to determine how things are going to turn out. But yeah, I think that sort of covers up some of the things that we were going to discuss. Um, and I think we will save Arc for tomorrow. I did also get, I believe it's the capture card. I'm trying to remember the name, so I can stream some Switch on there because I do want to play some Mario Tennis. I think that's going to be so much fun to sort of play to go up the ranks. So I think we're going to do that, which would be a good tab. All right. So I guess we'll call it there then. I'll see y'all next time.